right, hi, this is Leslie, Michael, and Ben back again, and we're here today to talk about current statutory research. And when we're doing current statutory research, the resource that we're generally going to be using is an annotated code. So what is that? That's a term. What is an annotated code?
Well, first of all, a code is just a compilation of all the laws currently in effect. So we have them for each state, and you have them for the federal government as well. So I just feel, start with the very basic.
That's right.
And there's the Lexis and Westlaw, just like online, where there's usually the Westlaw or Lexis codes, but in our hard copy, we have the preferred Blue Book, I believe.
For the states.
For the states.
That's right, for the states.
So when Ben throws out annotated, we just mean codes, so the compilations of these laws that somebody has gone through and added some commentary, usually by adding references to cases.
And I prefer, when I'm doing this kind of research, I prefer to use the Westlaw and Lexis versions. So you're getting their versions of both the state and federal codes annotated right within their databases, and that's what I tend to go to as my first location.
And I actually prefer to use the books for this and then check to make sure they're current online. But when you're working with codes, it's really important that you don't get tunnel vision. So you need to look at the code section that you're interested in, and then everything around it. Codes rarely operate independently. And for me, it's easier in paper to do that. I can keep my finger on the page in the code section I'm interested in. I can flip back and forth really easily. You can look at the table of contents. And you can do those things online.
That's right, yeah. So even if you're online, remember they have the same kinds of book-like features. So within Westlaw or Lexis, you can pull up the table of contents. So if you zero in on a code section in Westlaw or Lexis, look for that table of contents button, because there's probably going to be some other code sections in that same area that are also relevant.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth. I think I like yours just because I can go flip the pages, which is a lot easier than doing clicks. However, when I get into the annotations and the cases I brought up, the clicks are just...
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's why I like
So
it.
online, the annotations are linked. So you can click on a case and you're immediately at the full text of the case. And you don't have that in print. The other thing that's trickier in print is updating. So a lot of times I use both. So I'll pull the section and do my reading of the text in the print. And then I might pull it up online for the annotations, or to make sure that I'm looking at the most current version, that there's nothing pending. So Lexis and Westlaw will flag statutory sections. So if there's a case that's done something with that statute or another statute's replacing it, you get that information a lot easier online, I think.
And interpretation too, right? I guess.
Yeah, right. So what's the importance of these annotations or cases? Like, why are we saying go to use an annotated code? So there are, just let me add in there are such things as unannotated codes. So if you're trying to do this kind of stuff for free, going to a state legislature website, you can get their current code right there, and it's official. It's from the state government. But it's not annotated, so it's not going to have those cases. So what is the importance of having those annotations? Why are the Westlaw and Lexis versions or the book annotated versions so useful?
Well, I mean, to me, it's you have the definitions usually, and that's another reason I like the hard copy, because I'm going back and forth to see what they actually mean, because I'm looking for key terms within the statute. But the interpretation, a lot of times, it's not just from definitions, but I think it comes from case law.
Yeah, so these codes use very precise language. They use it in very specific situations, and sometimes it's really hard to gather from the text of the statute. But when you look at how the court has handled a situation, a lot of times they'll give you a lot more nuance. And it can make it a lot easier to understand how this law is being applied in reality.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll even start with the cases, because it can be hard to figure out statutory language. You're looking at these code sections, you're not exactly sure which exact ones apply. Sometimes the case law will lay that stuff right out for you.
And another good thing I use is actually law reviews to try to figure out if somebody else has the same problems I have interpreting this, and hopefully they do.
Yep, secondary sources.
Secondary sources.
Woohoo!
All right, current statutory research.
It's easy. No problem.